What Putin's doing, he's killing a lot of people, and I don't know what the hell happened to Putin. I've known him a long time, always gotten along with him, but he's sending rockets into cities and killing people, and I don't like it at all, okay? We're in the middle of talking, and he's shooting rockets into Kiev and other cities. I don't like it at all.
Welcome back, brothers and sisters, to another unapologetic truth bomb from your favorite patriotic corner of the internet. This is Founding Voice America. I'm your host, a God-fearing, flag-waving, Constitution-defending American who's sick and tired of the media spin, the globalist agenda, and the weak-kneed pandering from the left. Here, we don't sugarcoat reality. We stand on truth. And today, we're diving deep into President Trump's recent Memorial Day speech, his explosive comments on Vladimir Putin, and the unraveling globalist mess Biden and his cronies are too cowardly to clean up. Let's start where Trump started. Memorial Day at Arlington National Cemetery. An event that should be sacred, a time of reverence, not politics. But you know what? Sometimes truth has no timetable. Trump stood among the tombstones of America's bravest, men and women who gave their last full measure of devotion, and he reminded us that their sacrifice wasn't just for some vague idea of peace, but for freedom, sovereignty, and American greatness.
We begin this hour in Virginia, where President Trump marked Memorial Day with a wreath-laying ceremony at Arlington National Cemetery. The president was flanked by his vice president and defense secretary as he honored Americans who have made the ultimate sacrifice.
In every moment of crisis, American warriors have left behind the blessings of home and family to answer their nation's call. They've offered all that they had within them and given their last breaths to each and every one of us that we might live safe and breathe free.
But yesterday, before the president memorialized these fallen soldiers, he took a rare swipe at Vladimir Putin, criticizing the Russian leader's handling of the war in Ukraine.
What Putin's doing, he's killing a lot of people, and I don't know what the hell happened to Putin. I've known him a long time, always gotten along with him, but he's sending rockets into cities and killing people, and I don't like it at all, okay? We're in the middle of talking, and he's shooting rockets into Kiev and other cities. I don't like it at all.
Scott McFarlane is at the White House with more. And Scott, the reason we're talking about this is because these comments really mark the strongest tonal shift since President Trump posted on social media weeks ago, Vladimir, stop. What does it signify to you?
It really is rare for President Trump to issue this public rebuke to Vladimir Putin. He just doesn't have a lot of muscle memory doing that in the first term or so far in the second term. And it wasn't just those remarks here at the White House last night. It was a social media post as well in which he tried to light a fire beneath Vladimir Putin, criticizing him for continuing the onslaught in Ukraine. Actually, you see it there. He says he's gone absolutely crazy. Some pretty declarative language from President Trump against Vladimir Putin. But there have been scathing words from President Trump over the past 24 hours against a lot of people. He also criticized Volodymyr Zelenskyy in Ukraine, saying that Zelensky's rhetoric is inflaming the situation more. And during these remarks just now at Arlington National Cemetery, these traditional remarks from a U.S. president in which they honor those who've given their lives, in which he honors the war dead. He also criticized President Biden's administration over the last 4 years, he says, of failures. That is an untraditional part of a traditional event. So criticisms of Vladimir Putin, Volodymyr Zelenskyy, and President Biden all in the past 24 hours from President Trump.
Well, let's get everybody caught up on the other headlines that are coming out of the White House. The president announced he's delaying tariffs on the European Union until July. Remember, late last week, he said that the negotiations were going nowhere. He had to put these 50% tariffs on the EU. Do we know how this came about and what happens next?
Well, we know what happens next. There's this fog of uncertainty that happens next, and everybody's going to have to fight their way through because the tariffs aren't off. According to the president's social media post, this tariff that he has put in place against the European Union, this massive trade partner of the United States, has been delayed from June 1st to July 9th, giving them more time to talk, to try to cut the deals that have been so elusive since the president began this tariff battle. The conversations will continue, but what happens next exactly is far from clear. And that, Lindsay, is what's causing so much economic anxiety, even among the president's allies. You see there the European Union president, Ursula von der Leyen, saying that she had a good call with the president, and they share the world's consequential and most prized trade relationship, but this economic uncertainty persists.
And economic anxiety also caused by this budget bill. We know that the markets reacted last week. The president now getting some pushback from the Senate, who has been the most outspoken among really GOP senators, his own party. And do you think there will be enough support to get it passed, or will there have to be significant changes?
Oh, it's a great question, Lindsay. Whether there's enough support is an open question in the U.S. Senate, but who is pushing back? That is distinctive and particularly newsworthy. Among the most vocal critics is one of the president's most staunch allies, Wisconsin Senator Ron Johnson. In his third term, he is saying that too much of this could inflame the deficit and the national debt, which he says has been a particular project of his since he came into office in 2011. Ron Johnson says he wants to see changes to avoid incurring so much debt. And changes are a tricky thing here, Lindsay. This thing sneaked through the U.S. House with just one vote to spare. If they bring it back changed into the U.S. House weeks from now, it's hard to see if they could get it through again with such a limited margin. So let's see what happens in the U.S. Senate if deficit hawks and Trump allies like Ron Johnson and Kentucky's Rand Paul continue to criticize the bill and seem to be forcing through changes.
Scott McFarland, who never takes a day off. Thank you.
And you better believe that comes with defending our national interest, not bowing to foreign powers, not playing footsie with NATO bureaucrats, and certainly not selling our souls to China and the EU like the current administration is doing. Trump spoke like a commander-in-chief, not a globalist puppet. He honored our fallen, and then, yes, he told the truth about what's happening in the world. Now, the mainstream media is losing its mind because President Trump said something they never thought he'd say, that Vladimir Putin has gone absolutely crazy. And to that, I say, good. It needed to be said. Because let me explain something the left-wing pundits will never understand. You can respect a foreign leader's strength without condoning his actions. Trump isn't a Putin puppet, never was. What he is a realist. And reality right now is ugly. Putin is bombarding cities in Ukraine. Civilians are dying. He's pushing Europe into chaos. And for Trump to come out and say enough is enough, that's not flip-flopping, that's called leadership. The left's been begging for Trump to condemn Putin since 2016. Well, he just did. But unlike Biden, who whispers condemnations from a teleprompter while hiding in his basement, Trump says it to your face. Unfiltered. No apologies. That's what leadership looks like. And yes, you can criticize Putin while still recognizing that Biden has turned Ukraine into a black hole of taxpayer money and broken promises. Two things can be true at once, folks. The world is complicated. But weak leadership makes it worse. Now let's talk about Volodymyr Zelenskyy. Oh, the darling of Hollywood, NATO, and every warmongering liberal in Washington. Trump isn't afraid to say what others won't. Zelenskyy's not a saint. He's not a hero. He's a politician. And like every politician, he's playing a game. Only this game is costing American taxpayers billions, and our border is still wide open. You see, while our cities rot with crime and fentanyl, while veterans sleep in the streets and our children get indoctrinated in school, we're supposed to empty our wallets for Ukraine's war machine. And if you dare question it, you're called unpatriotic or pro-Russia. What a load of garbage. Trump called out Zelenskyy for his rhetoric, for inflaming the situation instead of seeking peace. And he's right. We need diplomacy, not endless escalation. America first doesn't mean America alone. It means. Now, the liberal media clutched their pearls because Trump criticized Biden during a Memorial Day event. That's untraditional, they cry. You know what else is untraditional? Weaponizing the DOJ to go after political opponents. Letting our streets burn. Releasing terrorists for votes. Destroying energy independence. That's what's untraditional, folks. Trump used that sacred ground at Arlington to do what those buried there would have wanted. Speak truth to power. Because Biden's America is an embarrassment. 4 years of incompetence, cowardice, and anti-American policy. Our economy, inflated. Our military, woke and weak. Our borders, non-existent. And our culture, hanging by a thread. So when Trump takes the mic and reminds the world what real leadership looks like, it's not disrespect, it's reverence for what those soldiers died for, freedom and truth. And speaking of weakness, let's talk about Biden's economic policies. Trump made it clear he would have played hardball with the European Union. But Biden, he bluffs with tariffs, delays them, caves to pressure. Instead of protecting American jobs, he's begging globalists for a handshake. Trump fought for fair trade. Biden fights for favorable headlines. Now the tariffs on the EU are delayed, and the markets are panicking. American farmers, manufacturers, and workers don't know what comes next. Because under Biden, it's all chaos and appeasement. But here's the good news. Trump's watching. And more importantly, we're watching. Let's talk about the ticking time bomb they're calling a budget bill. Trump's allies, real conservatives like Senator Ron Johnson, are sounding the alarm. And they're right. This bill is a Trojan horse packed with deficit spending, handouts, and socialist fantasy. The same establishment swamp that couldn't pass a secure border plan now wants us to sign a blank check. And they're hoping we're too distracted to notice. Not here. Not on Founding Voice America. We read the fine print. And we're telling you, this bill is fiscal suicide. Our kids will be paying off this mess for decades, if we even have a republic left by then. My friends, this isn't just about one speech. It's about a movement, a patriot awakening. Trump didn't just call out Putin. He called out the corruption, the deception, and the globalist rot eating away at our great nation. And that's why they hate him. That's why they fear us. Because we see through the lies. We remember the America that stood tall, not knelt to globalist agendas. We believe in secure borders, strong families, free speech, and a military that wins wars, not pronoun debates. And we're not alone. From small-town diners to the halls of Congress, the spirit of 1776 is rising again. So here's your call to action, patriots. Don't let the media rewrite the narrative. Don't let the Biden regime gaslight you into thinking weakness is wisdom, or censorship is compassion. Stand up. Speak out. Push back. Because the America we love needs defenders, not spectators. President Trump just reminded the world that we still have a fighter in the ring. And here at Founding Voice America, we're right behind him. Unapologetic, unrelenting, and unbreakable. This is more than a channel. It's a front line in the battle for America's soul. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share this video far and wide. Join the revolution of truth. This is Founding Voice America, and we are just getting started. God bless you. God bless our troops. And God bless the United States of America.